So do you have any questions for me? Have you thought of anything good that you've been dying to ask me since, it's our first solo date?
I don't have any questions for you at the moment.
Hey guys, welcome to the Geedunk, and today we're talking Farmer Wants a Wife, episode 6, and with me in studio today is Cowboy Chris. What's going on?
Get it.
And if you like the channel and the videos, hit that like button, and if you don't, hit that thumbs down twice. All right, so let's get into, first off, this season. What do you think?
I think it's a good season so far. I really like the farmers this season, and I really like I think this group of women are especially good this season. I like them better than last season.
Oh,
it's a little bit.
Man, we just had Sarah V on the show. What are you talking about?
Sorry, Sarah. I love you. I love you. But what I mean is that I think that I know a lot of people don't like a lot of drama on the shows, but I kind of don't like as much drama. I mean, we had a little bit of drama early on, but I think really, they're here to find love. The Cowboys are there to find love, and that's what I want to see. I want to see the connections being made or not being made, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, if you want drama, go watch Love is Blind or one of these other shows, but this one's a little bit more wholesome. But what do you think about the criticism of not enough women that are from like smaller towns that are used to this kind of lifestyle where they get a lot of city girls? Do you think that's a problem?
I do think it's a problem. I think that they need to, look at some women who are kind of have a little bit more of a background as the rest of the farmers. I think that the compatibility is an issue, and that stuff is found out, pretty early on in the show. I'm still surprised there are a couple of ladies still around, but I think that will resolve itself as time keeps going on the show. Although I will say, and I don't want to get into the episode just too quick, but I will say that we will see a few more women coming in on this episode that do have a bit of a small town background.
Yeah, that's true. And I think some of the women get caught up and treat this more like a competition than actually trying to find their partner too. And I think that's the problem with a lot of these shows where they just kind of want to win more so than find their partner.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so it starts off and it's solo date time, and it starts off with Ty and Megan.
So, I mean, Megan is a beautiful girl, and I think her and Ty are pretty compatible.
Yeah,
I
I'd
think
say
she has a bit of a pretty good background. I mean, she's not exactly a country girl, being from Nashville, but she's got that Southern charm about her, and I think that Ty sees that in her.
Yeah, and they go horseback riding, and she seems pretty comfortable on those horses.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she, hit those flanks and took off, and I was pretty impressed. In fact, that's probably one of my favorite scenes of the whole show.
And she's been hurt before, so she's kind of got her guard up, and Ty really thanks her for being brave and expressing that stuff like that, which I find a little kind of funny because I'm like, come on, man, that's just normal everyday talk here. But, that's, what do you say,
Yeah, no, I mean, that's kind of been the thing, the kind of, and Ty's not part of the younger generation being, 42, but, in this, it seems like these love shows recently, everybody's brave and, and everybody's finding their person. Some of these phrases and stuff that they use seem pretty canned and spread across all of the love shows.
Yeah, and maybe it's not so bad as we see on some of these other dates, but they go racing. So we kind of saw that last year, and it's good to see a girl that can handle herself on a horse.
Yeah, she's going to have to for Ty. I mean, he is all about cowboying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a team roper. He's a good team roper from what I saw in the video. And, she's going to have to, I think that's part of the compatibility.
Yeah. And she does get her kiss from Ty. And the girls were even talking about that earlier. So kissing this season is a big to-do.
Yep,
So she
yep.
gets her kiss, which is always good.
So do you guys think you're gonna kiss?
I don't want to talk. Can we not? Oh my gosh.
I will rescue you when the storms come.
Yeah, and then later on, it's kind of weird. Then they jump later on to him, and he's talking with Amy, and I guess Amy has some stuff she wants to talk to Ty about.
Yeah, I think I think she's seeing the writing on the wall, and even before she started, talking about her issues with with him and what's going on back home, I think that just the conversation between them, it was just so obvious that he's just not that into her.
Yeah. Well, and it's like the whole kids thing. She clearly wants kids where he's not ready for that anymore, especially he's got his own kids. So, and that was like I think a huge divide for them.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not for everybody. I mean, he's had his time. Some men are good with, marrying again and starting another family. I have to say on this point, I don't really blame him, but I'm also an older guy. But so I could see his point of view, and I think that his honesty and the way he handled it maturely, it couldn't have gone any other way. I think, I think she handled it pretty well. I mean, she was sad. I could tell that she liked him, but she's also an old, not an old woman, but she's in her 30s. She's in her mid to late
Clock's ticking.
30s. Yeah, so it's time to leave. It's time to move on and find that other. And I thought something else that was pretty interesting that she said is she went in to say goodbye to the girls, and she commented that she hasn't found her farmer yet, but or something to the effect that I'm gonna find my farmer eventually. And I don't know if she meant that kind of as a symbol, or if she was thinking, hey, maybe this is really the lifestyle for me. Am I going to go after a farmer or a cowboy type?
Well, she was cool, but like that's just a huge issue, and it's probably smart for her to like pull herself from the show, because I really think that she wasn't probably going to get chosen at this point in the end. So, and even if she did, it probably wouldn't work out for them too. If she wants kids and he doesn't, that's a huge issue for people. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, so now we're talking about Brandon and his girls, and he's only got 2. So,
yeah,
he's got Grace and Joy here, and he's got his date with Joy. And, Joy and him kind of hit it off last time, but this date doesn't go so well.
Yeah, I have to say, I actually was a little surprised because he seemed really smitten with her.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's got the Charlie's Angel fabulous going on. She's a really nice girl. I thought the way she handled herself with the other lady that left, got cut. I thought was
You're not talking about Reba, are you?
Yeah. I don't want to say, but yeah, but yeah, the way she handled herself with Reba, I thought was really mature for somebody her age, and I thought, well, okay, you know what, but he asked her, can you handle this lifestyle? You think you could see yourself moving out here? And she said,
Definitely see myself doing that. I just have to get a whole new wardrobe. The wardrobe is an issue.
But I thought that was kind of funny. But then it just went like,
yeah, they just
awkward.
really couldn't connect. Brandon's a little awkward and takes some like getting like warmed up to, and
yeah,
he takes her to the brewery. They're playing some Jenga, and things start come tumbling down just like Jenga. So
that's right. A great symbol for that scene.
Yeah, and he's like, he says like, "Well, you got any questions for me?" And she's like, "Not really, but I'll answer if you have any for me." And then he starts going on about a story about his mom and dad, how essentially how she left to do the things she wanted to do, and that kind of spoke to me a little bit and like hit me in places, because I feel that sometimes too. But anyways, like they just weren't connecting here. It was like a terrible date, which surprises me.
Yeah, I think that when he started going, when he decided to go deep, he dived right into the deep end of the pool and swam straight to the bottom on that one, because I don't even think she knew what to even do with that. He
even comments, he's like, I guess I was expecting more empathy from a nurse, but the problem, Brandon, she's not a nurse. She's an x-ray tech. So, and I'm sure they hate hearing that.
He wouldn't be empathetic, you know what I mean? Like, as a nurse. Is that concerning to you as far as like?
No, not at all.
But yeah, this is like really unfortunate, especially he's only got 2 women, and like before he was kind of hitting it off with Joy and she seems cool, but this does not go well at all.
Nope. And she should, I mean, if she's still trying to stay in it for any reason, I think this is she should have had that moment where she thought, okay, you know what? It might be time to go, but
Yeah.
they're down to 2 women now, at least until the end of the episode. Anyway, we don't know for sure what's going to happen yet,
Mhm.
but I mean, it's almost like if she leaves,
It's not looking good though.
what happens next? You got 1 girl left. What if he's not compatible with her? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. That kind of like breaks the show a little bit. So, but maybe it's recoverable because, you know, Joy did comment like maybe she said some wrong things. So maybe they can correct from this. This is one bad day. I don't know. We'll see.
To an extreme. Like, have you noticed?
You were
it?
sounding pretty extreme.
This solo day did not go well at all.
But moving on to Nathan, he goes on a date with Taylor. And I like Taylor from the very beginning. So I've
Yes.
been waiting kind of for this moment. So he kind of takes her on the boat and they go on the lake there. Shows her the gators.
That's right. Yeah. So Taylor, another really cute girl. I love her personality. She's down home, and I'll tip my hat to her. She's from Texas, and I really see the compatibility between the two. Of course, they shared yet another kiss.
Yeah, they're really connecting here, and he finally gives her like a proper kiss where, because she says it's like probably the best date she's ever been on. So
Yeah.
he's like, swear by it or whatever.
This is probably the best date I've ever been on.
So you swear?
I swear.
Well, I'm glad I could share it with you.
Thank you.
And I mean, that's like the green light if you ever have one, right?
Yeah.
Someone says that, like.
I think
so.
I think at this point they could have gone on any kind of date. It didn't even matter what they did. I think what she was saying is that the way they connected on it was what made it the best. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily what they were doing.
Now he does comment like, "You ready to move out here to Florida?" And she's like, "We'll see." So I don't know if that's a red flag or not, but
Yeah, if you're not ready to commit at this point, what are you doing on the show?
it is nice to finally see Nathan connecting pretty strongly with a woman on the show.
Yeah.
So that was a good date. It's probably like one of the best dates of the 4 here. I mean, Ty had a good date too. So, but it's not going so good for the others, and especially like getting to Mitchell. His doesn't go too well either.
Yeah, talk about awkward. That one was probably even more awkward than Brandon's.
Yeah. And he picks her up on his bike and takes her to like another farm, which might be a smart move because maybe he wants to show her like more of the farm life to see, because he seems to question whether she's suitable for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's a totally different concept with him. I mean, that's one of the things I like about each one of the farmers on this show is that each one has a completely different setup. And, you know, Brandon, he's got that humongous potato farm. I mean, there is a lot of work to be had there. And so it's one thing to be able to go out and ride some horses and stuff, you know, like with Ty and Megan, but it's a whole other thing when you're out there and I don't know. I just think that it's like you said earlier on. I think that the compatibility issue, a lot of it has to do with the fact that they're thinking about, dang, if I move out here, this is middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I am here, committed, you know, hopefully for the rest of their lives. Who knows? But
Yeah. And, you know, Mitchell doesn't really beat too much around the bush. You know what I mean?
no,
If he sees things not working, he kind of calls it out and,
Yep.
and ends it.
that's right.
So
He has to. I mean, he's got, you know, well, he started out with 5 women, but, you know, he has to figure out who is going to be the most compatible for him. So, you know, why not be brutally honest? Well, not so brutally, but why not be honest immediately and get it out in the open?
now this one's weird because he's like, I don't know if you're suitable. And she's like, well, what do I need to do to kind of show you? And he doesn't really have a great response to that. Like, yeah, have you really given her much of a chance? I get she could be a fish out of water, but maybe she will adapt and be into it. I mean, I don't know if he's given her that kind of chance or opportunity, but maybe he just knows. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of doesn't he circles around like later on.
Later
It's
on, he
like,
does. He
yeah,
seems like he realizes his error and wants to make up for it, but it's kind of too late.
right. Yeah.
She calls it the worst date. It's funny because we just seen someone call it the best date, and now she's like, I think that was the worst date I probably ever had. So
But I'll tell you, it's exactly the same reason as the other girl called it the best date, and it has absolutely to do with the fact that it was the compatibility issue there, and I don't know if it's maybe just compatibility as a whole, but they just for some reason they couldn't connect on that particular one. Whereas on the other one, they made the ultimate connection, and it had nothing to do with what was going on around them, with the activities they were doing or whatever. It had the worst date for her was that she just couldn't make that connection between her and what she's thinking and what he's thinking.
yeah. Now, like Mitchell seems like he's trying to make up for it, but she takes herself off the show. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, yeah, I mean, she was probably on borrowed time at that point, and she obviously knew it. And she even makes the comment like, well, if we can't connect here, then it's not even probably worth exploring. Like, she's like, I feel like I should be able to talk to you more easily. And if it's this difficult, then that's a problem.
and some of this stuff to me is induced, I think, by the timing of the show, because they don't have a lot of time. I mean, met my wife, we had a lot of time, and we went on a lot of dates before we decided, okay, this is who I want to at least be monogamous with, right? Have a girlfriend, and then, more time to flesh out, until you decide, okay, I want to marry this person. And these people are doing it in just like some
It's
of these
definitely
other
an
love
accelerated
shows.
time frame, and they don't get much time at all, which is
It's-
a common complaint. And you even hear the women on the show complaining.
That's right. That's right. I mean, I know some of them say, okay, I'm behind the scenes. Yeah, we are getting the chance to talk to them and stuff, but you're still competing for time with the others.
Yes. So now we get to the surprise, and some people said like the surprise is just their moms because they're talking about bringing another lady out. But guess what? This ain't the moms. These are new ladies for the most part. Three new ladies, and of course one is a familiar one, Mackenzie, that we saw from Nathan. I'm glad they bring her back and give her another chance.
Me too, because I really liked her. Super cute girl, great personality. I think they were compatible from go.
Yeah, and he chose her for the one-on-one, so that must have mean she stood out more than most there. So
I thought it was interesting that this happened again. Even the first season, I thought that was interesting. I mean, obviously life happens, and you got to go home and take care of business or whatever. But this is a completely different situation to me, because when the other girl came back first season, I was kind of like, you should have just stayed home. But this one, I'm like, I'm rooting for her. I'm hoping that maybe something does happen.
well, the first season, the girl that came back is the one he ended up picking, right? So
true, but
even though it didn't work out, but
yeah. But I think everybody at home watching that in the first season realized, pretty early on that, yeah, what are you doing, bro?
So do you think they pivoted because they're like, oh my gosh, Brandon is short on women. We need to bring another woman. And then it's like, we did have that thing with Mackenzie. So do you think like some producers like, I got an idea how we could fix this. 2 birds, 1 stone. Bring back Mackenzie. Give Brandon potentially another woman.
Could be. I mean,
and it's not going well with Joy, as we've seen. So this guy might be down to 1 person at the end of this episode.
I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to not believe that, they don't have, some women waiting, some runners up as they were, just in case. Hey, stick around just in case we call you. We're going to fly you out. And voila, here you are. I absolutely am not surprised by their move.
Yeah, and this is interesting because all the women are pissed. But, the farmers seem okay with it. Except for Mitchell, he's kind of like, I'm not bringing another girl back. But like, some of the women are crying. Taylor's crying. Some people, Melody is saying, I'm going to go home if another woman comes back here. So some of them are not taking this news well at all.
I mean, think about it. You've been here for a few weeks. You're trying to make this connection. You're struggling. I think this is another one of those induced moments where we need to, maybe you're thinking, hey, they're running out of women. Maybe we need to bring more in. I'm thinking it's more like, hey, maybe we push some of these women out because it's just not there. Maybe
Or
there's
how do we create some drama?
How do we create some drama?
Maybe because
That
some
too.
people are complaining there's not enough like drama or interesting stuff happening on the show. This is a way to introduce some chaos.
But I don't blame any of those women.
And I
for
know you don't
leaving.
like it, but some people do.
But like I said, I don't blame any of those women for wanting to leave. I mean,
But if you have a strong relationship, should you be concerned? Shouldn't that be able to hold during this?
I think we're going to see who has a strong relationship and who doesn't.
Well, yeah, because some of these women they're bringing back, like 2 of them are from small towns and seem more suitable than some of these city girls. Now, one's from Austin, which is a pretty big city, but she's, from Texas and kind of seems like, she's into hunting and all this other kind of stuff. So she seems suitable as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously the 4th one's Mackenzie. So these are 4 pretty strong candidates, and it seems like they probably even been vetted than some of these other ladies.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I was pretty surprised at the reactions of the farmers to these women. I mean, a couple of them went in there, I'm not bringing anybody back.
So there's no way that I'm bringing another girl into the farm.
Was one
Mitchell
of them.
says that, and then he's
he-
playing the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. I got to phone a friend.
That's right, man. That's right. Well, let me call my brother up and see what he has to say about this. So,
Because he wants, you could tell he wants to stick to what he said, but he's like, oh my God, this woman is awesome.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Ty, I'd have a hard time with that one too. That
So they got like Emerson, Ashleigh, and Natalie.
yes, that's right. And I forget who had the red hair, but I can't remember
Yeah,
what her
Ashleigh,
name
I
is.
think.
I think it's Ashley. Yeah, okay. He was absolutely enamored with her from the moment
Yes.
he walked in the door. I mean, you could just see it by the look on his face that I think he's gonna say yes.
Yeah. Well, all these dates go pretty well, actually. So, I mean, Emerson and Brandon are hitting it off pretty well. They have their
Yep.
little potato conversation.
Yeah.
So, I think she's from Iowa, and she's like, yeah, people say, oh, you're from the potato state. And she's like,
Oh,
no.
it's Idaho.
So she's got the little potato game going, which Brandon
Yeah.
appreciates. And, the others are just making strong connections too. They're all beautiful women, of course. So,
And a couple of them are, I think, like 2 or 3 of them, because I don't know the one from that said that she was from Austin, Texas. I don't think she's from Austin.
no, she said she moved around a lot all throughout Texas.
Right.
So she could have been from a small town.
Not with
too,
that
but
accent. She is not from Austin.
That's probably true.
But here's where they're bringing in. I don't know. The producers are some sneaky people.
I think they're smart on this one.
They're
They're stirring
brought
that
in
pot.
exactly the type of women that these guys are looking for.
Yep.
So
So I like this little twist. I mean, yeah, it's gonna like shake the house, and we'll see who comes back, because the only person that they show bring someone back is Brandon, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of has to at this point, because it's
Yeah.
not going well with Joy. Just got Grace, so that's probably why they showed this one, because like this is the least surprising out of any of them. The other ones have some kind of hard decisions to make. I think Nathan, that's probably an easy decision, because I don't think the girls will be too riled up seeing that it's Mackenzie. But the
Yeah.
other 2 could be problematic.
yeah, for sure. And we already see that one of the girls is already packing her bags. And she's
Yeah.
screaming and she's already yelling at the cameraman and slamming the door and I don't know exactly what's going to happen, of course, with all the editing that they do for these shows, but I think one of the last things we see is her standing out there talking to him, and she's not happy.
Yeah. So, I mean, I love this. I think this is great for the show. I think this is like the kind of shakeup the show kind of needed. Especially, I think it's really cool. Like maybe they need to learn from this too. If they bring in these new women that are more compatible with the farming cowboy life, then maybe that should tell them something. Like, why are you bringing these city girls who are like fishes out of water to begin with? Probably, who knows if they will even move here to begin with. So
Yeah, I totally agree. I can't believe that you can't find 20 women, from around the United States, that live in these more rural areas, that have charm, good looks, I can't believe you can't find those people. Like, why in the world would you go to New York City or LA You know,
They're also going to lose their ability to brag about being the most successful dating show with all these babies and these, because the American show isn't doing that so far.
no, not at all. In fact,
And I doubt they probably, I haven't seen the Australian version, but I doubt they do it like this.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I totally can see in Australia them doing, you know, they don't call them ranches over there, they call them stations. But I absolutely can see, you know, a lot of cowboy type over there. And you know, and as much as we like to think that they're similar to us, they're a totally different culture. And I just I don't know what it is about the US. It seems to me that every single one of these love shows that I watch, um, they just seems to be more than 50, sometimes more than 75% fail.
Well, a lot of just people just aren't there for the right reasons. So I think,
Yeah.
and you know, and then the show is like trying to find, I think, couples, but they're also trying to make it entertaining. And I think those things sometimes can interfere with one another.
I totally agree. There for the right reason. That's the thing. It seems like every one of these shows, somebody mentions, oh, they're here for the Instagram profile.
Yep,
So
for sure. I think you get half the people are there for that. So
yeah, for sure.
All right. So any final thoughts on this episode or season?
I just can't wait to see what's going to happen with. This was probably the best cliffhanger they've had in 2 seasons.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode for sure.
Yeah, me too. Other than that, just can't wait till next Thursday.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that's our show for the week. Make sure you tell us what you think. What do you think about this twist? Do you like it? Do you think they should have left it out? Let us know. All right, guys. We'll catch you next time. See ya.